The Elevation Awards are a chance. They're an opportunity. They're a bet. They're an investment. The Elevation Awards are $10,000 micro grants that we invest in community leaders. Oftentimes, these are the first dollars these individuals have received for their ideas, and we're taking a bet that it's gonna pay off really big for Baltimore City. Because when you canvass our neighborhoods, when you canvass our communities, you find people who have been living with a lot of the challenges holding the city back, and oftentimes in relative obscurity, they've been pioneering solutions to those challenges. And if we listen, and if we get close, and we bring the resources, and we bring the support, and we bring the attention to their ideas, to their leadership, to their passion, we can start to move the needle on some of the problems.
I'm Simone Barkley, and I'm a marine biologist and educator, and my business is called A Piece of Nature, and they are these STEM kits that I produce to try to really give kids hands-on STEM learning experiences, increase literacy, because we definitely include books in all of our kits, and we want to make sure that the communities, so students and their families, are becoming a little bit more resilient to a lot of the environmental justice issues that we see in Baltimore. So that's really why I created them. When I first started this project, it was a project that I just did as a pilot, during COVID, and I was, trying to fill a gap that I saw with kids not being able to go on field trips or not even being in the school buildings, right? So we were able to pack these kits up and send them to, families, or send them to schools and students at home. And during the Elevation Awards program, I was able to kind of pivot and start to think about how I could make a profit with these kits, because during the initial pilot, I saw that while I was being very successful at, providing the kits for free to communities, I also had this other group of people who wanted to purchase kits, but I wasn't ready to, to really be able to provide them to them, because it just wasn't in my plans initially. And, it was very surprising, but it also made me feel really good to know that people are looking for these kinds of resources and they benefit from these resources. And so the Elevation Awards program has given me an opportunity to come up with a plan for how I can make this a for-profit business and a for-profit model, still within the same goals of the initial pilot and of the vision of this program, for sure. This one is my paleontology kit. This was probably the favorite that we put out this year, because students got to dig within a sand mound and identify different fossils using all of the tools that paleontologists use. So I'm very, very excited about these, and I'm excited to be able to provide them to more students, because I was very limited. I only did about 50 with each release. So I'm really looking forward to being able to provide these to more students and more families, and to hopefully add more kits, right? This is about STEM, and I've only done 4 areas, right? I would really love to get into some other areas of the STEM field.
So my name is Amari Jeremiah. I'm originally from New York City, but I've lived in Baltimore for a number of years now. The project is called Next Generation Language Access, and the mission of Next Generation Language Access is to train high school students to become professional interpreters. So I'm a licensed interpreter trainer myself, so I train bilingual individuals to become professional interpreters. And working in high schools, we just have so much talent in our high schools, so many bilingual, multilingual students, refugee students, students seeking asylum, students that their parents were born in a country outside the United States, and they have this opportunity to pursue this career as an interpreter. And so our organization is dedicated to providing that career to them and professional training to them. So when they graduate from high school, they can work as an interpreter anywhere in the United States. In my time working in Baltimore City, I've worked in Baltimore City public schools, as well as volunteered in various legal organizations in Baltimore City. And there is a need for more qualified professional interpreters in various settings, whether it be educational settings, whether it be legal settings, medical settings. We need more professionally trained interpreters to help our growing multilingual population. And so that's really the mission of Next Generation Language Access, is to really focus on how we can provide professional interpreters in settings where professional interpreters are needed, and really utilizing the high school student population we have to provide them for career opportunity in this field. Elevation Awards was a huge support in helping us grow as an organization. I mean, there's definitely a huge difference between before Elevation Awards and after Elevation Awards. As an organization, we were able to diversify our funding streams. We were able to organize our websites, identify various funders, looking for sustainable funding so that we can continue to build as an organization afterwards, identifying various providers that want to have their students trained as interpreters, organizations that we can partner with so that students can practice their interpretation skills outside of our training, and all of that was facilitated by the staff in Elevation Awards.
So my name is NICOLE Logan, and my organization is Pink for the City. Pink stands for Providing Information Necessary to Know. So Pink for the City is an organization focused on addressing disparities regarding breast cancer and African American women. And we do so through education as well as promoting preventive care. It's important for two reasons. For the personal and for me, the reason I do this work is because of my godmother, Marlene King. And she was a breast cancer patient. She was advocating even while she was ill. And then I thought about the work that she was doing in the community. I had no idea that it could impact young African American women. And so it wasn't until I got into the community that I realized that this wasn't an older woman's disease. This is something that can impact 20 and 30-year-olds. And so that's just really been the focus as to why. And we live in a predominantly Black city. The reality is that African American women are more likely to be diagnosed with more aggressive subtypes of breast cancer, and our mortality rate is higher than white women. White women are diagnosed more than us, but we are dying at numbers that is ridiculous at this point. And unfortunately for women under 40, which I'm 33, we are not engaged about breast cancer unless it has impacted our family or we know someone personally. We're not a part of that conversation. And it's too many of us who are young who are being diagnosed. We're not at the age to get a mammogram, which is 40. And so what's the in-between? How do we ensure that young women are equipped with the information that they need so that they can advocate for themselves? And that is why it's so important, especially to make sure that this work is being done, because the women of Baltimore City deserve to have that. A lot of advocacy organizations are really, they're focused on Capitol Hill, and they're focused on the needs of the patients as well as ensuring that the education and the supports and resources are available for women no matter the income, because a lot of times that plays a role too. The quality of care depends on how much you're able to cover financially. But everyone's not able to do that, but they still should have a quality of life that gives them a fighting chance against this disease. The Elevation Awards actually equip me with a lot of tools that I need to scale it out. This is actually our 10th year of Pink for the City. It started out as Pink in the City, but with this time, the tools and the skills that I've learned from those who are professionals, it's actually helped me to develop what I want this to look like. And so next year we're working on some quarterly programming, and that's thanks to the Elevation Awards. If I wasn't exposed to those who could kind of change that and could make me think a little bit bigger, I'm not really sure that we would be progressing the way that we are. So I'm just extremely grateful for that experience.
I am Cameron Jiggers. I am the Executive Director and founder of RISE Art Center of Baltimore. At RISE, we provide a multidisciplinary arts education program for youth and underserved communities and youth and young adults with autism in Baltimore City. At RISE, of course, we provide this amazing arts education program. We really strive to make sure that our youth and our young adults are excelling in not only their personal lives, but their academics. And we do that using art, specifically art entrepreneurship classes, musical theater workshops, creative writing classes, and so many more art disciplines. So I am originally from Baltimore City, and growing up, the arts was a way for me to thrive in so many different ways. And then when I moved back to Baltimore from traveling and college and things like that, I saw that the arts were being taken out of the curriculum, and there were less funding at underserved schools in the community. And when I found that out, I was like, no, this can't can't be it. So how can we provide some sort of program that not only is just an after-school program, but is a program that could also foster in academic acceleration, elevation. And so that's how we came up with RISE. And then there are often times where the special needs community are often forgotten about. The arts, they aren't there. I mean, if you go to a special education school, then, you know, it's a little different. The structure of it is a bit different, but the arts aren't present. So I came up with RISE to do just that. And so I believe that it is a true core, important program, organization for the Baltimore City community, not only the youth and young adults that we serve, but also the community itself. I mean, from the one-on-one sessions with our coach, Troy, just has been phenomenal. I've been encouraged in so many ways, connected to so many other great members of the cohort where we've collaborated on certain things, or just brainstorming sessions where we just talked out, you know, program ideas, and that has really helped, you know, push my organization forward in our programming. The workshops as well were just fantastic to ensure that, you know, we are in compliance. There aren't a lot of programs out there that really cater to or give access to business, entrepreneurship, like classes, and this program did just that, especially for Black and Brown creatives, entrepreneurs. It's hard, so this program was everything that I needed at the right time, and more.
My name is Natalie Daniels, and I'm the founder of L Mentoring. L stands for Empowerment, Learning, Leadership, and Exploration. Our mission is to enhance the lives of under-resourced girls through mentorship, education, cultural exposure, and community service. Our project is the Elevation Career Exploration Bootcamp, whose purpose is to guide adolescent girls to achieve personal goals and prepare for career success through empowerment, education, employment opportunities, and exposure to entrepreneurship. We provide soft skills and paid internships with small businesses in Baltimore, many of which are Black women-led. Studies show that teens who have early exposure to the world of work are more likely to have steady employment and higher earnings as an adult. Baltimore youth are begging for positive opportunities and experiences, and small businesses are looking for ways to invest in our youth. Resources, resources, resources. The workshops provided information and opportunities that I never knew existed. I've been able to apply for grants, to facilitate activities at our mentoring, and the capital provided has also been integral in getting our boot camp off the ground. My hope for our mentoring and our boot camp is that we are able to provide this service to adolescent girls in Baltimore on a year-round basis and replicate this model in schools and rec centers.
Hi, my name is CHAZZ Scott, and I am the Executive Director of Positively Caviar Incorporated. Positively Caviar Incorporated's mission is to disrupt mental health stigmas in Baltimore youth by building resilience and empowering lives. We do this by providing experiential mental wellness workshops rooted in positive psychology to provide youth with preventative tools to curb stress and increase their well-being to flourish in life. Our project to provide a fun, interactive, and immersive back-to-school mental wellness workshop for middle school youth, which we titled Flourish and Grow, help youth get started on the right mindset into the new school year. So why is our project important to Baltimore City? We know that youth are experiencing trauma. We know that youth, especially in these underserved communities, don't necessarily have the mental health resources to be able to cope with stress and anxiety and the feelings that they're experiencing throughout some of the traumas that they're facing, both in school and both outside of school. So how has the Elevation Award actually impacted us in our project? So for one, it definitely provided us the resources to go out and carry out our pilot mental wellness back to school workshop in August. It allowed us so that we had food for the kids and snacks and lunch. And not only that, have a yoga instructor come out to talk about the importance of mental well-being as well as meditation. A nutritionist come out to speak about the importance of nutrition as it relates to your mental health. All of these resources could not have been obtained without Baltimore Core's help in coaching as well as monetary from the money that we received from the grant. And not to mention, we gained valuable partnerships throughout Baltimore City to ensure that we could kick off this pilot workshop. and allowed us to expand our network and really engage with fellow social entrepreneurs who are really have a passion for continuing to improve the quality of other people's lives, especially in Baltimore City.
My name is KELVIN LYONS, and today I'm introducing the WIN Project, which is a goal-setting workshop and a 6-week leadership mastermind program where we focus on providing leadership tools and practices and principles for us young men and youth in order to come up and work together. And our purpose is to really create an environment in the community for young men to really have intentional space to create goals and really follow through on them. We have a workshop where we talk about SMART goals and we create plans in order to make that happen. And within our mastermind group, we really have those conversations where we can really overcome obstacles and also build emotional intelligence with our community. So I really feel like this project is important because a lot of young men and our youth have a lot of obstacles to overcome, whether it be the social norms or just a systemic disadvantages or really just a self-doubt. It's really important for us to create the spaces that young men and youth need to understand the direction where they could go and the things that they could achieve. I've really gained a lot from this experience. One, really being able to properly and strategically plan out a whole annual year of events and programs for our community, and also just being able to reach out to a long, big network of individuals and entrepreneurs who have the same mission as myself. So the future looks really bright, and us being able to really build a community of accountable and ambitious young men and males within their profession, and really just giving us the opportunity to grow and creating workshops and events and just really creating effective collaborations within our community.
The project is Loyalty is Love Clothing Scholarship Program. And it originated from an idea I had about 10 years ago to create a clothing line. You know, I started in about 2011, and going forward, I didn't have any vision or purpose for why I was doing it until I prayed about it, and God was kind of telling me to give it to the youth, you know, give it to the next generation. So I figured out a way to teach the youth that are interested in fashion, design, graphic design, entrepreneurship, how to take a brand from inception to final results. So the program covers 5 major components of designing a brand. So graphic design portion, printing, marketing, financial budgeting, and promotion. So they build a collection for the clothing line. We sell it in the retail like pop-up environment, and the proceeds go to their scholarship funds. I think Baltimore City is we're a city that we want to make money. You know, I think a lot of us grow up in poverty, so money is very attractive. And I feel like we should make creative ecosystems for how to give our next generation of youth an understanding of how to make money, how to do it legitimately, and then also teach them skills that can, you know, kind of focus in on the whole world of business and entrepreneurship. So if we are able to create those type of ecosystems and show youth how to go through a process, how all of these things that we learn and go through come into play to create something unique, I think that that's an amazing point that we could, you know, make sure we're getting out to the next generation of leaders. The Elevation Awards has played a huge role in understanding how big the purpose of my project could be. I think a ton of the information that we learned throughout the process, it kind of elevated my mindset into how to approach this year's project, how to use different resources to obtain the goal that we were looking to do. And I was able to connect with some great young leaders that are all passionate about doing great things in Baltimore. And sometimes, you know, the resources and the networks and the relationships play a huge role going forward, especially for like-minded individuals that are doing some of the similar work. So I think that's value is priceless.
My name is Stanley ANDRISSE. I am the Executive Director of Prison to Professionals, an organization that works with currently and formerly incarcerated men and women in Baltimore City and all over the nation to help them pursue higher education and gainful employment. I was very excited to be part of this program. This program is supporting what we call the Prison to Professionals, or P2P Transitional Residence Program. So it's a transitional house for people who've recently been released. The short name for it is the P2P House. And in the past year, we've supported a number of formerly incarcerated men and a few women as well. As most know in Baltimore, we are facing issues of higher incarceration rates than most cities like Baltimore. I'm originally from Ferguson, Missouri. I'm afraid to say it on camera since this is a very, I found that Baltimore is very, loves its Baltimoreans, but I feel as if I'm an adopted Baltimorean. But originally from Ferguson, in a similar situation as Baltimore City with the incarceration rate. And in any place that is suffering from those types of issues, people are coming home from incarceration, or leaving incarceration, and many of them don't have a place to sleep, a place to lay their head, and it's hard to get a job, it's hard to go to school, it's hard to connect with family and your community if you don't have a place to lay your head at night. And so as we were doing the work that we were doing to help people get jobs in schools, we really realized that we're missing this piece. We really need to be helping support folks and with that are suffering from housing issues. And so we were really, it has supported financially to help support the individuals who are at the transitional house or the P2P house. They're on this tiered rent. So they come in and their first 3 months are free. And then it tiers up to 25%, 50%, and so forth. So the Elevation Awards has helped support individuals in the house so they don't have to, they could, use that tiered up structure. So that's been one of the great benefits of the Elevation Award. The other thing is really the partnerships and connections. We really are seeking to be kind of this bedrock place for people to come to here in Baltimore. We really want to be embedded into the community. And this award is really to help people, grassroots individuals, embed themselves more into the nonprofit world, but then into the community of Baltimore. So we're really looking forward to just the opportunity to connect with other entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, and people on the ground doing the work. And I think it has offered us that ability to do that.